Hey everybody, it's Darrell with the Back 40 broadcast for Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, and thanks for joining us. We're here every week, same time. Well, 2 minutes late today, so just watching. Anyhow, we're here every week to meet with you right where you are, to support you, to create your second half of life as your best half of life. That's what we're all about. Our community, our philosophy, our upcoming book, our programs, our blogs. You can see it all at theback40.com. All of it is based on two simple premises, simple but profound. The first one is a favorite Frank Sinatra song of mine. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? And also an absolute conviction, and hear this. You have yet to do what you came here to do. You who's watching this, you who are streaming this later, take on that you have yet to do what you came here to do. And in our community, we have lots of accomplished folks, people who've done amazing things in life. And yet we're all here under the premise that we have yet to do what we came to do, meaning there's a much bigger game ahead, and we are empowered by that. We invite you to be empowered by that versus the standard societal conversation that says after 40, 50, 60, things are going to start winding down, or you got to start thinking about, taking it easy. There's nothing wrong with having fun. As a matter of fact, the Back 40, what we're about is all about having fun, but it's about a fun that you've never had before. It's about play that you've never had before. It's not about like that the best of all of that stuff was in the first half of life. We believe that the first half is just R&D, research and development, so that you can really discover what you really came here to do and to really create a playful, passionate, and purposeful second half of life. So again, we're always here on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we also put out an inspirational jolt note to kind of wake you up to a concept or an idea that can support you in creating this second half as the best half. And then we give it a little bit more depth at noon here Pacific time on Wednesdays to really talk about it. So if you want to get a sense of what we're going to talk about each day, make sure you go to theback40.com, sign up to get the weekly newsletter. You'll get a 2-hour heads up on what we're going to be talking about. Maybe you can even do some homework before we get here and be ready to engage. So anyhow, thanks for coming. I don't know if you saw the quote at the beginning there of our broadcast, but we are going to be talking about something really interesting today as we move into a new year. So yes, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and then we have the holidays coming, but you know what? If there is a time to begin planning ahead, I mean, how many of you, mea culpa, that's Italian for I'm guilty as well, how many of you have gotten to January 1st and it's like, oh, I need to plan for the new year, maybe January 7th, maybe the end of January. Well, we want to really take on now, even before Thanksgiving, that this is a time to be planning for that new year. And one of the things we want to encourage you as well as us, I mean, Alexandra and I are in this Back 40 and creating the foundation of this program for one reason, so that we are doing it ourselves and that we have the support of others in a community that's all about it. But what we're really about is like, let's begin to design this new year based on future focus versus past focus. We're actually going to be doing a big year creation course in December. It's 3 Tuesday nights. I'll show you some information about that in a minute. But what it's really about is, okay, let's look at this year. Let's notice the accomplishments. It's more than just noticing accomplishments. It's really about building ourselves up by taking a moment to reflect and see what all got done this year. So many times we're just running. Well, first we want to really be empowered And even if we didn't meet all of the goals we set at the beginning of this year, it's like, what did we get done? Let's really bask in some acknowledgement and recognize the milestones that we've covered. And then we start to look at the new year, but not from this, resolutions and simple, goal setting. In the Back 40, we have this game environment, and it's really about creating a big game. And it's not just what are the specific results you're going to produce. It's like, who are you going to become in playing that game? What are the areas you're going to master and become more masterful in? What are the broader outcomes that are going to express as this game? So and it's really based on purpose. And so it's a richer, more robust, and really it's a game you'll play versus resolutions that you'll look back on one day and go, yeah, that was a good idea, right? So anyhow, one of the other aspects of a game that we support people in the Back 40 to create, because hey, if we're here to do what we came here to do, it's game on, is shaping our environments and upgrading our environments. So one of the things I talked about today in the Jolt Note, the newsletter that came out, is one of those environments is the physical environment. And it really, we mea culpa. This is the I'm guilty, broadcast today. Thank God I have a partner that has been supporting me to get beyond my Leo. I hear from an astrological perspective that Leos are sentimental, right? So yeah, I can be very sentimental and I can hold on to a lot of stuff. And as we move into the big game we're creating in the new year, it's like, what is our environment shaping us for? Is it shaping us for our past and reminding us of our past? Or is our environment shaping us for and reminding us of our future? And if we're our community in the Back 40, we call ourselves Back 40 Flyers, because we really are planning to fly. I've heard it described by one of the participants in our program that, society has it like a bell curve in life where we go up and, we're growing, getting out of college, getting our jobs, homes, kids, and all this. And then at some point, we peak out, and then there's going to be this decline. And one of the things we've distinguished recently in our mastermind program within the Back 40 for people who participated and who are alumni is this idea, rather than down and out, how about up and out? So if we're going to be playing big games and we haven't done what we came here to do, we want to have everything supporting us to do that. And so being reminded of our past by everything we see around us and the clutter that can accumulate, that tends to create a headwind, as opposed to if we are surrounded by, in our environments, those things that tell us what we're creating, who we're creating ourselves to be, then that forms a tailwind, right? So one of the topic for today is, it's called Flight Focused, is as we start to look at moving into the new year, how can we set ourselves up to be flight focused into this next year, this big game that we're going to be creating for the next year. Let me just show you all a couple things real quick before we move on. That's a great quote, isn't it? I just think it's great. We have some new books on Kindle, Birth of the Back 40. If you want to write that down real quick, that's how you can access what was really the beginning of this movement and the inspirations that brought it about. Also, Crisis or Opportunity is an ebook about people who've risen from the ashes, and maybe not even ashes, but they've really taken on that. What came in the first half of life was simply R&D, research and development, and they're just making whole new turns, whole new games for their second half. Please, if you do download those books, give us a review. And as I mentioned, we've got an inspiring weekly jolt note every week so that you can get a heads up on this broadcast. Here's another thing I just want to mention before we go on is, as I mentioned, we have a big year creation course that Alexandra and I are going to be putting on in December. It's 3 sequential Tuesday evenings. It's an hour and a half each evening. We're going to really dig in. You're going to get so much value out of these 3 evenings. Yeah, and we actually have an early bird discount right now. We priced it low anyhow at $197, but the early bird discount is $97, and that is good for is it the rest of this week? I think it's the rest of this week. It might go into a day or two of next week. I'm not sure if we wrap up on Cyber Monday or something, but if you want to get in, just go there, theback40.com/big-year, so that you can join us. And again, just so much value. 3 Tuesday evenings to really complete 2017 in a just powerful way. You'll be so darn proud of yourself and so excited and so turned on when you really get a sense of how you played this year. And I'm talking to you, even you who think you didn't play as well as you could. No, you played, and we're going to dig that out so that you can bask in that. And then to really, as I said, create a game based on purpose, a game based on mastery, a game based on who you're going to become to fulfill on that game, and a game based on upgrading your environments. So as we so be sure to join us for that. Let's talk about then what we're talking about today is flight focused, as I mentioned, and some interesting ideas when it comes to the physical environment is, and Alexandra and I did a lot of training over the last couple of years, and really engaged in and soaked in this whole idea of environmental design. But one idea to consider is that the environment always wins. Think about that. The environment always wins. Well, what does that mean? Well, you can think about people around their financial environment, okay? And there's actually 9 environments I'm going to introduce you to in a minute. There's 9 environments in which shape our life, in which we engage, in the conducting of our life. And in the financial environment, you ever heard how people will win the lottery, but then a year or 2 later, they're broke, okay? Well, consider that they didn't upgrade their financial environment to be able to include that big windfall. In other words, whether it was the consciousness, the awareness, the skills of working with money, the people that they relate to, the people that are in their life, that there weren't upgrades made to commensurate with that level of money, and therefore, guess what? They went back to where they were. I've heard it described as your thermostat. Okay, you have a particular wealth thermostat. We might have a particular relationship thermostat, where we never really get beyond that type of level of person in our life. Maybe it's a network thermostat, where again, we seem to play with people like this, but we never play with people like that. They say, you are the average of the 5 people that you most spend time with. So we want to let's look at this idea with regard to physical environment. And again, when we work with folks in the Back 40 and our alumni and our mastermind program who are playing big games, we're looking at all these environments. Right now, today, we're just going to talk a little bit about the physical environment. Well, how does the physical environment always win? Well, do an inventory, look around, see what's surrounding you. Is everything surrounding you reminding you of the past? Now, I'm not saying there may not be cute little tchotchkes or souvenirs or mementos, and it's not like we have to go Marie Kondo Nazi crazy. By the way, it's a great book, okay? The Japanese Art of Tidying Up. It's on the extreme side, especially for someone like me. But the point is, it's not like we have to go totally nuts. But if you do look around, a lot of us will notice that most of our environment is telling us about our past, where we've been, what we've done. It might even, if you're not careful, there may be things around you that carry messages of how you failed. And I don't, by the way, in the Back 40, we don't believe anybody fails. It's all research and development. But that might be an outside the Back 40 interpretation until people get into our work. But there may be things around you that convey messages that are not empowering. But again, it's like, look at your environment. Is it propelling you as a tailwind towards the future that you're creating? Or might it be a headwind, keeping you back, reminding you of who you've been, who you've always been, or just keeping you more in your past? So some interesting ideas then to consider. Hold on. Number one, the environment always wins, as I just said. So moving into a new year offers the opportunity for new surroundings. I don't know that we really even think about this. It's like, oh, the new year's coming. Think about this though, folks. New, N-E-W, new, never happened before. Totally unpainted canvas. New year, right? So if we're going to go into a new year, we want to be thinking of how much of the past, almost like ballast in a hot air balloon, how much of the past do we want to be carrying with us in our physical environment? So, I'm going to show you all well, let me just show you right now. These are what we say and we've learned are the 9 environments that shape us. Okay, there's our physical environment. What is surrounding us? Where is it pointing us? Is it pointing us backwards? Is it pointing us forward? Our relationships environment, our family, friends, colleagues, are they pointing us backwards, reminding us of who we've been? When we really want to take on something big and play a big game, or we do take on that we haven't done what we came here to do, are they sitting there rah, rah, rah? Or are they like, well, who do you think you are? You've never done that before, and you need to just calm down, right? It's interesting. Alexandra and I have been together about 2.5 years now, and she's jumping out of planes and jumping off of high poles and doing all kind of extreme stuff. And her mom one time asked her, what's going on with you? So again, do you want the relationships that are surrounding you to be supporting you in who you say you are and who you're becoming, or trying to keep you in the box of who you have been as you've been doing your research and development? Your technology environment, what are the aspects of electronics and even virtual spaces, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, all of that. Your network environment, the key people, the web communities, the people that you surround yourself with, your self environment, your talents, your values, your character. There's ways we can to upgrade those things. We sometimes get to the point, and again, these are non-Back 40 graduates that would say things like, well, that's just the way I am, or I've never been able to do that, right? Well, what we believe in the Back 40 is, hey, anything is possible as long as we keep ourselves in the mindset of newness. 20, 22-year-old, 25-year-olds are just out there trying things because they haven't failed. They don't know they can't do it. Sometimes when we get 40, 50, 60, it's like we've made up our mind about things. Well, that's the mind we want to get out of. As a matter of fact, you want to be out of your mind if you really want to fly in the Back 40. Get out of that mind that's so fixed about the way you are or the way things are. Your financial environment, your cash flow, your budget, your investments, your body environment, your strength, your health, even your radiance. How do you radiate? Your spiritual environment, what are the practices that you use to empower yourself and tap into something beyond yourself? And your mimetic environment. I love that word, mimetic. But it's really about the ideas and the concepts that you allow to come into your mind. You know, we don't think about that as an environment a lot of the time, but you know, you are operating with ideas and concepts that you're either allowing to enter your mind or you're not. And guess what? That is an environment that does shape us. So, you know, again, lots of environments, and we go into a lot of detail through a whole year-long program with our clients I don't even want to say clients, they're our partners in our Back 40 propulsion program. We meet once a month live. People can do it through Skype as well if they're not local to LA, but we meet once a month and we're empowering them on the big game that they've taken on. And we're looking at these environments to make sure that all the environments are being tailwinds for them. So for today's broadcast, though, let's just, as we look to move into this new year that we're going to create, let's start looking around our physical environment to see what it is that we want to design that will be that boost and that support for us as we go into this big game year. Again, we're going to invite y'all to come play with us, theback40.com/big-year, because we would love to support you in creating your big game and having 2017 really be something beyond new. It's not like a redo, and it's not like okay, I'm gonna jack myself up for next year. It's like really taking on a whole new round. So this week's Back 40 play game, look around you in the various elements, environments of your life. Get a buddy, because remember, we want to be out of our mind. My dad used to say, are you out of your mind? Yes, you want to get out of your mind. Notice in each environment how much of the past is present versus the future. That's kind of a weird way of saying that. But how much of the past is present in your environment versus the future and what you're living into. Share that with your buddy. Share these environments and where the future can replace the past. I mean, can you take down a diploma and put up a dream board? You know, can you get rid of an old picture and put a framed list of intentions, you know, for the new year? You know, can you get graphical representations of who you're becoming? Put that around your environment. One of our Back 40 flyers was really inspired by at the end of Gone with the Wind, how Scarlett O'Hara raises her hand up to the sky and I will never be hungry again. And so she has O'Hara with her fist raised to the sky, you know, in her writing area, in her kind of creation lab at the top of her house. So what can you replace? So find things to delete, you know, things that just remind you of the past. They're not empowering you for what you're up to right now. Let's just delete them. Make substitutions. Like I said, how about a dream board for the diploma? You know, you only have so much room. So let's see what we can substitute with something facing forward. Introductions. What are the new things you can bring into those environments that are telling you who you're becoming, reminding you of who you're becoming? Follow up with your buddy and share. Post what you see on the Facebook community. That is facebook.com/theback40. Always join us there. There's another quote. This is actually a partner of ours in our Back 40. We're going to be sharing blog posts. Known Eleanor for a while. And the other day when I was just looking for quotes that would represent this message I wanted to bring up, you know, usually I'm finding things from Einstein and, you know, Woodrow Wilson and, you know, whoever. And this one popped up as one of the first 3 quotes when I was exploring this sentimentality versus clutter. And I think it's just really great because it does speak to the many environments. Clutter is not just physical stuff. It's old ideas, toxic relationships, bad habits. Clutter is anything that does not support your better self. So just as a reminder, before we get out of here, please come join us on the Big Year Creation course. That will be starting in, let's see, 2 weeks from yesterday is when we're going to start. And it's 6:30 in the evening Pacific time, so even East Coast folks can join us. Only $97, folks, right now for 3 sessions with us. Plus, you get a 30-minute one-on-one session. So go check this out. It's the back40.com/big-year. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to playing with you for the rest of this year and creating a radical next year, a radical 2017. Join us in a big game, our big year creation course to do that, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, enjoy life, be radical.
Open up to the passion in me. It's a golden prize that's calling me to wake up to what I wanna be. It's my time to claim my destiny. It's time to let go and ready to fly. Open my heart and reach for the sky. Starting today, I know the reason why. There's nothing I won't try. Yeah.